There's a point in your career when a significant achievement reveals something you just didn't expect. It's not confidence, but this profound sense of inadequacy. So, this is a look at how a single moment of crisis can reframe a leader's entire motivation, really moving it from self-protection to a genuine external purpose. So it all begins in a new, high-stakes environment. After years of really hard work to get into a prestigious school, that initial success, well, it doesn't lead to a feeling of accomplishment. Instead, it triggers an immediate and pretty overwhelming crisis of belonging. We're talking about Colegio de San Juan de Letran. The contrast between my background and that of my new, affluent classmates was stark. They wore designer clothes, mine were homemade, they smelled of perfume, I smelled of my daily commute. That immediate feeling was that I was an outsider. The desire to just retreat, to quit, it was almost overwhelming.
Now, this internal pressure, it couldn't stay contained. It just built quietly for days until it finally reached a breaking point, and it became this external confrontation that forced a very difficult conversation.
The lowest point came one night. I was crying alone inside our family's tuk-tuk. My brother discovered me, and, well, he alerted my mother. Her immediate assumption, which was really shaped by our community's experiences, was that I was pregnant. When I finally admitted the truth, that I just felt I couldn't blend in and I wanted to quit, it was just this raw admission of defeat. Right there, in that moment of crisis, my eldest sister offered this piece of advice. And it wasn't a motivational speech, not at all. It was a strategic reframing. It provided a completely different anchor for my drive. And this right here illustrates the core shift. That internal pressure to fit in, to prove my own worth, was exhausting. It was completely unsustainable. Shifting the reason for pursuing the goal from being about myself to being about my family, it changed the entire dynamic. It was no longer about survival. It became about service. This shift in motivation, it wasn't just some mental exercise. It produced immediate, tangible outcomes and a whole new level of resilience with clear and very direct results. So first, that focus on others led me to tutor classmates in accounting, which actually rebuilt my confidence through competence and service. Second, surviving a serious bus accident, that provided a really stark perspective shift. The fear of not fitting in suddenly seemed trivial compared to the fear of not finishing. And third, this new drive, it all culminated in passing the CPA board exam, not for my own validation, but as a direct way to honor my mother's sacrifices. This entire experience provided several core executive insights about motivation, about adversity and growth. And these aren't just theories. These were earned realizations from that period of really intense pressure. Look, operating in survival mode, it builds incredible resilience, but it's just not a sustainable strategy for growth. It leads to burnout. The crucial shift happens with perspective. It's when adversity is seen not just as pain, but as preparation. Ultimately, leadership growth accelerates when your purpose extends beyond just protecting yourself and moves towards serving a larger mission. Within the Pond to Queen framework, this experience marks a really critical transition. It's that moment a professional begins to see the larger board that they're playing on. And this is the definition of the awakening stage. It's that precise shift from the pawn's focus on just performance and proving your own worth to recognizing that there's a much larger game at play. It's the beginning of understanding that your drive can be anchored in something far more stable than your own insecurity. So this brings us to a final reflective question. It's a prompt for anyone who has achieved a certain level of success, but, may still be operating on an old set of rules. Many of us, we develop powerful survival skills early in our careers. They get us through tough times, they help us achieve our goals, but those skills, born of necessity, can become a default setting long after the threat is gone. So this leaves a critical question to consider. Are you still operating from survival, even though you are no longer surviving?